Iglanite, Hoha. Hi, I'm Chief Kelsey Jocko from Thuichuktwit, Cold Lake First Nations. I want to acknowledge that what we call Alberta is the traditional and ancestral territory of many people, presently subjects to Treaty 6, 7, and 8, namely the Cold Lake First Nations, Dene, Blackfoot Confederacy, Kainai, Piikani, and Sissica, the Cree, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, Stoney Nakoda, and the Tsuut'ina Nation, and the Métis people of Alberta. This includes the Métis settlements in the 6 regions of the Métis Nation of Alberta within the historic Northwest Métis homelands. We acknowledge the many nations, Métis and Inuit, who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for those traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today, and those who have gone before us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose the territory we reside on or are visiting.
To the second semifinal of the game between the Sexsmith Vipers and the Confederation Eagles. Nelms gets it down behind the Confederation net. Mario Reed in after it. Reed gets behind the net. Nelms intercepts, shoots it to the front. It's under the pad of Elder for an early whistle. The winner of this game will play the Vulcan Hawks in the championship game. Face off to the left of Elder. Nelms up to Lipke. Lipke long shot. That goes wide. Anderson fighting with Dooley for it. Goes to the front of the net. Elder hits that away with the stick. Anderson up for Anderson. Shot on net. Pad saved by Kel Fogel. Pass up to Lipke. Lipke in. Goes around. Tries to jam it in. Samuel Elder holds that and reaches out to grab it. Face off in the Eagle zone. U against Dika. Dika gets it back behind the net. Brabble sends it over to the far side. U up for Caters. And back down to the Confederation end. Lacey at the center line tries to get it by Schmidt. Kakmarski Loses it to you, Thomas U, over to Brendan Caters, and they come in offside over the line. U for the face-off against Dika. U gets it back to Edward U. Collision there with Kakmarski. And it's back down into Confederation and Brabble. Up the boards, caught there by Coombs. Coombs, Dika, back to the line, held in by Lob. Dika with it. Poked out by Caters. Schmidt. Puck taken away by Kakmarski. Thomas U gets it into the Vipers' end and is sent back down by Lob. Brabble at the boards showed an attempt off of U, which leads to offside. Nickel in for the face-off against Schmidt. Holmes, rather. Holmes gets it to the side. It's picked up by the Vipers. Anderson in. Tip on goal by Nickel. Doesn't get through. Nickel. Shot. Goes in off the glove of Elder. Grayson Nickel puts the Vipers up 1-0 early in the first period. Shot just squeaks over the glove of Elder. Anderson in for the faceoff against Nickel. Anderson gets it up to Caters. Caters looping around. Shot over, deflected into the corner by Fogel. Back in front. Medway loses it to Brown with a shot on net, and that is covered and held by Kel Fogel. Anderson in to take the face-off against Lacey. Dooley, rather. Dooley sent it down the ice. Race for it. In comes Nelms for it. Nelms, wide shot off the side of the net. Dooley in the corner, pushed off it by Edwards. Edwards gets it up for Anderson. Rupra. Up the boards, Daniel Yu. Chips it to center. Nelms down in the corner. Nelms. Tipped on by Dooley. That's blocked by Elder. Sent to the corner. Dooley on it again. Dooley tries to jam it in the short side. Elder holds that out, dives for the puck, and covers with 16:30. Face-off won by the Vipers, sent in by Coombs. Kane to get it in the corner. Sends it out to the line. Lipke will collect. Lipke, a little trouble with it. Gets it pushed away by Schmidt. Up to Caters in the middle. Caters blocked by Coombs at the line. Thomas Yu down for it. At the wall. Scuffle for it. Ends up back with Lipke in the Viper zone. Lipke up the side. Dika in. Bennett Dika. Cuts to the center. Loses the puck there to Caters. Caters sends it back down the ice, and Quinn Medway will go get it. Medway. Up the left for Coombs. Coombs chips it in. Kane there. Get it back out. Pass center. Lacey. Cross-ice pass to Lipke. Dumps it into Eagles and Kane. Up for you. That gets deflected away. Anderson loses handle of the puck. It slides out to center. Doev. Back down into the corner. Nickel there. Nickel to the center. Tries a shot. Deflected off the stick of Amadio Reed. Caters to the line. Doyev knocked Schmidt down. That's going to be a penalty against Doyev. Thomas Yu in. Shot across the crease. Anderson touches up for the whistle. And it will be Mason Doyev going to the box for body checking. Brabble down behind the net. Edwards over to Nelms. Nelms up to center. Edwards, you can't get that. Going in for it is Dooley. Brabble. Nayar in for it. Lob gets that. Sends it behind the net. Edward Yu sends it up. Tipped at center. Lob will go back for it. Lob behind the net. Gives it away to Edwards. Edwards, long shot to the net. Tipped in. Under the pad by number 13. Yuvra Nayar. Nayar with a goal at 13:59. Ties the Eagles with the Vipers 1-1. Pass from Edwards made it in front. Nayar tipped it under the pad of Kel Fogel. Puck up at the Confederation line. Long shot on goal goes wide by Jace Kakmarski. Colton Lipke at the line tries a shot that bounces off the stick of Anderson and is sent back up by Harnor Rupra. Anderson down to get it in the Vipers zone. Tries to center. No one there. Kakmarski now. Kakmarski. Rupra behind the net. Fight for it in the Eagles end, brought up by Anderson. Poked away by his stick by Coombs. Kakmarski tips it between the legs to Dika. Kakmarski with it now. Kakmarski in on Anderson. Long shot. That goes wide of the net. Daniel Yu back for it. Yu gets poked off his stick by Kakmarski to the net. Knocked away by Elder. And it's brought out by Anderson. Anderson up to Oliver Anderson. Goes to center. That's taken away by Brown. Brown in. Long shot. Blocker saved by Kel Fogel. Thomas Yu in for the faceoff against Grayson Nickel. Nickel gets it back around for Lob. Anderson now off to the races. Anderson up against Kane. Kane knocks Anderson down. That's going to be a penalty. Penalty against Kellen Kane for the Eagles. 2 minutes for body checking, with 12:24 remaining in the second period. Face off in the Confederation zone. Lacey of the line attempts a shot. That's off the stick of Caters. Anderson turns, gets it, saved by Elder. Rebound at the side. We have another penalty. That's going to be checking from behind. I believe it's Corbin Anderson. No, not Corbin Anderson. The trainer's out to check on the player. Number 3, Grayson Nickel, down on the ice with injury. And Nickel is up, being helped to the bench by Lacey. Nickel stays on the bench. And it looks like number 5, Edward Yu, is being sent to the dressing room after that hit. Edward Yu assessed 2-minute check from behind and a 10-minute misconduct. So the Vipers will have a 5-on-3 power play for the next minute 48 seconds. Dooley pokes it through. Varabel gets it up the boards. Lob skips back to his stick, can't keep it in. Lacey down in the corner for it. Lacey up to Dooley. That gets knocked away by Thomas Yu. Lacey now up center. Dooley, long shot in on Elder. He pounces out to grab that and cover it. And we have another penalty in the corner. It's going to be Jace Kakmarski going to the box for contact to the head. It'll be a 4-on-3 power play now as the faceoff comes back into the Vipers territory. Nayar out there with Rupra and Yu for the Eagles. Yu cuts off Coombs. Yu gets it to the line. Coombs back with it. Coombs over to Bennett Dika. Rupra back for that. Rupra behind the net. Dika puts it back in the corner. Daniel Yu now with the clearing attempt gets it out. Coombs back with it. Dika tags up as Rupra back to the corner. Rupra can't clear the line. Dika through the legs of Rupra tries to get it over to Coombs. That's intercepted by Daniel Yu, who sends it back out. And now Nayar will get it to center. Lob. Center ice for Dika. Rupra misses that puck. Coombs goes into contest for it. Daniel Yu behind the net. Wait, and we'll send it down the length of the ice. Vogel will leave it there. Chipped up the boards for Lipke. Lipke goes right for Dika. Rupra. Pressure on Dooley. And now going front, and sliding save by Samuel Elder on a fantastic chance for Corbin Anderson. Elder with the pad save. 4 seconds left on the Eagles penalties. And after that, they will have a 37-second power play. Lipke tries a shot that's blocked by Holmes. Picked up by Edwards. Sent forward to Caters. Caters with a little break. Caters in. Poked off a stick from behind by Corbin Anderson. Deflected to the corner by Fogel. Lipke up with it. Lipke up to center. Anderson with it. Anderson goes around. In. Tries short side. That's saved by Elder. Brabble behind the net. Goes around for Lipke. Edwards. Amadio Reed gets it out. And Holmes will bring it to the blue line. Pressured by Dooley. Medway will poke that out to Lipke. Lipke forward. Lipke up the right. Into the zone, shadowed by Derek Anderson. Corbin Anderson now back to the line for Lipke. Lipke loads up a shot that goes off the skate of Anderson. Dooley back to Medway. Medway gets it into the corner. Anderson up in front. There's a chip for Doyev that goes past the net. Doyev now clear lane. Shoots off the glove of Elder. Anderson in the corner. Shoots it back up. And toe save by Elder on Dooley. And then rebound. Gloved by Elder. Samuel Elder coming up with some point blank save on Lincoln Dooley to keep the game tied at 1. All penalties are over. Back to even strength with 8:39 remaining. Kane backhands that over to Schmidt. Intercepted by Wickberg. Wickberg, Nickel, who's back on the ice. Wide shot. Caters. Uses it to Nickel in the neutral zone. Nickel puts it down into Eagles' end, and Kane will advance it up. Tipped out into center by Holmes. And Lacey will stay behind the net. Over to attempted pass to Wickberg. That gets blocked and sent to center. And Nelms now steps around Rupra. Just knocked away by Thomas Yu. Yu up for Caters. Caters goes around Lacey. Caters in. Tries a backhand shot that's taken away by the defenseman Lob. Nelms up with it. Nelms tries to go around Kane. Nelms wide around the net. Tries to wrap around. That goes to the crease. Kane tries to clear. That bounces off of Coombs. To the front. Back into the corner. Nickel. Held there by Kane. Up to you. Coombs will tip it to Lacey at center. Lacey gets that knocked off her stick by Thomas Yu. Coombs over to Lob. And that'll be sent in by Nickel. Kane tried to clear up the boards, kept in by Coombs, sends one to the front. No one home to get a stick on that, and it's taken out by Ethan Schmidt. Schmidt tried to go center, taken there by Coombs, and Rupra brings down Coombs in the corner, and it looks like another penalty is coming up to the Eagles. Trainer out to attend to Coombs. Trainer attending to Chris Coombs on the board. Coombs to his feet and will skate back to the bench under his own power. And Rupra will get 2 minutes for tripping for the incident. Power play for the Eagles with 6:29 remaining. Benedika in for the draw against Alexander Holmes. Holmes gets it out to center. In the corner in the Vipers' end, brought out by Dika. Bennett Dika up the boards. Daniel Yu will intercept that. Lipke tries a shot in. That bounces off the shin of Yu. Haters up to center. That gets past Medway down the ice. No icing. Medway over to the wall. Corbin Anderson after it. Anderson gets by Amadio Reed. Back for Bennett Dika. Lipke will keep it in at line. Tries to go around Nayar. Lipke back to the point for Medway. Back to Lipke. Dika shoots. Tipped down. Saved by Elder. Anderson lifts it back to the front. Medway there. Medway tries to get a shot off. That's blocked in front. And back to Medway on the point. Another long shot into the far corner. And Kakmarski against Reed. Reed, Kakmarski now. Daniel Yu coming in. Amadio Reed manages to get it back up but not out. Lipke going for the tip in front. That's blocked. Lipke again. Kakmarski misses that one. Reed pressuring Kakmarski in the corner. Amadio Reed. Lipke holds again at the point. Lipke, shot, in! Cohen Lipke with the goal. Power play goal for the Vipers. Puts them up 2-1 with 4:43 remaining in the first period. Long shot from the point deflects down under the pad of Elder. Nelms. Over to Wickberg. Lacey tries a shot. That's off the skate of Anderson. Bravo in front. Gets it over to the boards for Brown to try to get out. Brown now. Blocked by Lob. Bravo. Another attempt to get it out. Kept in by Dooley. Lob. Pushes it in. Scuffle for it at the line. And Dooley comes up with it. And Nelms behind the defense gets a shot away. Elder pad save. Back with it. Backhand. Jamming for it. Under Elder. It's in the corner now. Dooley collects it. Lob on the left boards. And it gets chipped out to Anderson. Anderson up into the Vipers zone. Dooley backhands that back for Lacey. Up for Nelms. Thomas Yu fans on that pass. Dooley up with it. Dooley wide shot into the corner. And Thomas Yu will chip it up. Derek Anderson over for Oliver Anderson. Anderson steps around the defense. Backhand shot, pad saved by Fogel. Anderson up to Oliver Anderson. Lob gets that in the corner. Tries to chip it up. Kept in at the line by Rupra, who sends it back in. Lacey behind the net. Banks it up for Nelms. Kept in at the point by Yu. And now Corbin Anderson brings it out. Nelms trips, and that's going to be a penalty. Corbin Anderson with it. Touched up by the Eagles. And there is a penalty on the play. Going to be tripping against Daniel Yu. Daniel Yu for tripping. 2:31 left in the period. Power play for the Eagles. Nickel in for the faceoff against Thomas Yu. Eagles only had 3 players out there. Mario Reed comes out. Reed over to Rupra. Rupra tries to get it out at the boards. Lipke, long shot. Can't get the tip as Anderson. Lipke. And shoot, that's off the hand of Rupra. Medway back for it. Up to center. That's kept in by Reed. Reed. Brought down into the corner. Medway. Tussle for it in the corner. Eventually gets up to Kane, who sends it back in. Anderson now up with it. Up the wall for Doyev. Doyev on Reed. Reed can't get it away. Doyev over to the left side for Anderson. Anderson up to the point. Medway over to Lipke. Lipke shoots, and that is held by Elder with 38 seconds left to go in the Eagles penalty. 1:08 left in the period. Face off to the left of Samuel Elder in the Eagles zone. Dika over for Lacey, long shot that deflects off of Reed in front. And up with it is Caters. Caters tries to go around Lacey. Wide shot, doesn't get to the net. Lacey puts it back up the boards. Kane stands up. Coombs in the corner. Reed on the wall. Down for Schmidt. Schmidt gets it taken away by Coombs. That is put out to center and hit back in by Bravo. Coombs can't clear it. Behind the net comes Lacey as the clock sounds on the first period. 2-1 for the Sexsmith Vipers after that one. second period between the Sexsmith Vipers and the Confederation Eagles. The Vipers currently lead the Eagles 2-1 as the puck gets put into the Eagles zone. Ika with a shot that deflects off of the shin pad of Kane. Dika falls in the corner, tries to get back to Kakmarski. Coombs on it in the right corner. Back to Lacey at the point. Lacey back down for Kakmarski, misses that. Kane out to the blue line. And Lob gets it back for Dika. Dika, shot, fans on it. Elder knocks that away. Follow up by Kakmarski. Ends up behind the net. And Coombs will flip it back down to the point. Lob keeps it in. Kane off the shoulder of Coombs. Gets it out to center. And Lob will be back for it. Tries to bank it against the boards. Anderson comes up with it in for Brown. He gets stripped of the puck by Chris Coombs. Anderson, shot towards the net, deflected by Lacey. Kakmarski can't get it out against Daniel Yu. Anderson, shot, misses the net. Derek Anderson in for it. Brabble. Lob back with it, pressured by Oliver Anderson. Dika falling, gets the puck to Coombs. Coombs tries to get out for Kakmarski. Can't, goes off the change as the puck is collected by Daniel Yu. In with the shot is Nichols. That is patted aside by Elder. Doyev in the corner now, pressured by Daniel Yu. Schmidt in. Corbin Anderson, long shot, tipped down by Doyev, saved by Elder. Anderson tries to get to center. Brown now up the left wing with it. Brown tries to get to the center. That's poked off his stick. Anderson now. And we have a whistle for offside at the line. Dooley up against Yu in the face-off. Rupra and Nelms fight for it. That's in on. Now it slips in under the blocker of Elder. On a soft chip by Nelms. And the Vipers are up 3-1. Shot that bounced weirdly towards the net. Bounces up against Elder. Slips under the blocker. Rupra up on the boards, taken down by Wickberg. Nelms in again. Nelms can't get past you. Caters up the right. Wickberg pokes that back in. And that's offside against the Vipers. Face off between Holmes and Dika. On the boards, Nayar reaching for it. Coombs can't get. Lipke up against Nayar in the corner. Coombs up to Rupra. Rupra shot, that's blocked in front. And now Kakmarski will loop around with it. Kakmarski back to Dika. Held in at the line by Rupra. Medway. Around the side. Reed scoops it back in and Lipke will retrieve. Edwards tries to get through. Dika blocks that. Little back and forth before it's finally dumped into Medway, pressured by Nayar. Gets it up the boards. Held in by Rupra. That shock deflects off Dika and out to center. Coombs and Dika now fighting for it on the boards with Rupra. Dika gets it stolen by Nayar, and Nayar gets it up to Holmes. Holmes on the right. Puts it around the net. Coombs comes through. That's blocked by Nayar, and it's down to Amadio Reed, who puts it back behind the Vipers' net. Coombs up the boards and out to center. That goes by Rupra, and Kakmarsky races towards it. Kakmarsky tries a shot that goes wide of the net. Anderson stripped of it by Reed. Attempted shot by Lipke. That's off a foot. Rupra out to center and brought back in by Nickel. Nickel in on Nayar in the corner. Wide across the net. Tries to center to Anderson. Can't get anything on that. Doyev. Backhand. Pass to Nickel. That's blocked. And Brown up to center for Rupra. Lacey now will wheel behind the net. Logan Lacey around. Now Medway up to Corbin Anderson. Offside at the line with 14:13 remaining in the second period. Dooley for the face-off against Derek Anderson. Anderson wins it over to Brown, but it is taken into the zone by Wickford. Nelms over to the side. Anderson behind the net. Banks it off the boards, held in by Logan Lacey. Lacey passes to the far boards where Nelms goes around. Dooley coming to the front, tries to chip it in front. That's off the pad of Elder, who pounces out and grabs that. Scuffle in front. Few players get dumped. Resulting penalty on the play goes to number 19, Hudson Brown for the Eagles. And offsetting will go to number 16, Easton Nelms, going to the penalty box. So offsetting minors. Refs over to talk to the Eagles coaches. And there's going to be an additional penalty to Derek Anderson. Power play for the Vipers. Ensuing from all of that. Cleared to the line by Brabble. U gets knocked down by Lacey in the corner. Anderson at center. Goes up the right. Anderson, long shot, deflected off the shin of Kane. Back in front and sent down the ice by Brabble. Lacey behind the net. Up for Doyev on the boards. Caters around, tries a shot, fans on it. And now get sent back to center by Wob. Anderson onto it, up the right side. Anderson in, shot deflected off Kane. And Nickel will throw it to the net where Anderson tips it on and is held by Elder. Jack Marsky down behind the Eagles net. Daniel Yu will grab that, send it out to center. Quinn Medway in pursuit. Medway around, up to Coombs. Dika falls down center, gets to Coombs. Dika now. Back to the blue line. Caters with a little step. Caters around Lipke. In on the left. Tries a shot that goes behind the net. And Lipke will collect it. It's up for Coombs. Coombs gets it to the middle for Dika. And we have a whistle. Had a problem with the clock involving the penalties. Getting back at even strength. The puck drops. Holmes on the boards. Down for Lipke. Lipke. Up for Nelms. Holmes intercepts that. Back on left. Pressured by Medway. Holmes gets Daniel Yu at the point. Yu with a shot. That goes high into the left. Dooley tries to get it up. It's kept in by Mario Reed. Back behind the net for Nayar. Medway grabs it. That puck is sent to the center. In on Bogle. And he will leave it to the side for Medway. Lipke back around the net. Lipke. Up through center. On the left, Daniel Yu grabs that. Sends it back up. Dooley over to Lacey, who chases it into the corner. Lacey. Nayar pokes off her stick. Edwards in with a shot. Another shot by you. Great save by Vogel. Backhand shot by Edwards goes over the net. Kept in the line by Brabble. Poked out now by Anderson. Lead pass for Nelms. Nelms in all alone. Nelms in. Tries a move. Elder stops that. Back at the line. Lob. Over to Lacey. Shot blocked off the foot of Edwards. Edwards up to center. Grabbed by Lob. Lob gets it stolen by Rupra. And Dooley will push it back into his own zone. Dooley around the net. Caught there by Anderson. Anderson for the Vipers now gets it out to center. Corbin Anderson over the line. Tries to get the pass to Nelms in front. That's deflected to center. Now Anderson up to Thomas Yu. Yu can't keep it in. And it will be stolen by Corbin Anderson. Anderson in. Move. Scores! Corbin Anderson for the Vipers. Fancy move to put it backhand top shelf on Samuel Elder. And the Vipers lead 4-1 with 9:07 remaining in the second period. And we also have a penalty on the play. Harnor Rupra will go in the box for slashing. Thomas Yu for the draw against Nickel. Yu wins it back, gets past Varabel. Anderson after it. Anderson around. Lob at the blue line will keep it in. Sends it over for Lacey. Lacey, long shot off the pad of Elder. Put back in front by Nickel. And it is grabbed and cleared by Bravo. Lacey around the net. Up for Doyev. Doyev intercepted by Caters. Yu to it in the corner. Yu. Sharp shot that goes across the crease. Around the net. Yu steals it. One-on-one with Lipke. Yu around Lipke. Yu in. Shoot. Score! Thomas Yu with a fancy move to get around the defender. Puts it in on Fogel. Short-handed goal as well. Vipers are now up 4-2. Kakmarski sends it down on Elder, who kicks it to the boards. Daniel Yu. Behind the net, Nayar wheels back. Nayar sends it down, clears the length of the ice. Lipke up to center. Lipke to the right side behind the Eagles net. Coombs pushes it through. Daniel Yu around. Grabbed and cleared by the Eagles. Medway at center. Medway in behind the net. And it's cleared into the Vipers' end with 6:48 remaining on the clock. Medway around. Coombs now clears it down, which will be icing against the Vipers. Derek Anderson in for the face-off against Dooley. Dooley up with it. Dooley up to center. With speed, tries a shot that flutters wide of the net. Picked up behind the net by Mario Reed, and Lacey will come back for it. Lacey shoots it in, deflected into the corner. Dooley back at center now. Weaves back in. Dooley in. Shoot, that's blocked by Reed. Dooley puts the puck through the leg of Kane. And that's deflected back up to the top point. Lacey down to Nelms. Easton Nelms spinning. Tries to center to the front. Wickberg can't get a stick on that. Brown gets it poked away by Lob. And that's sent back down and tipped in by Anderson. Oliver Anderson in a fight with Lacey on the boards. Brown comes in, gets it out, and it's up to Reed. Back to the corner for Anderson. To the center, Wickberg controls that. Taken away by Derek Anderson. Kane now with a shot. Brown tries to center. Oliver Anderson misses it at the side. And Nelms will bank it out to center. Kane. Backhand shot goes off the mask of Dooley. Kane then takes a hard fall, tripping Dooley, and it's held by Elder. 4:52 left in the second period. Medway puts it into the corner. Daniel Yu up for Thomas Yu. Gets a step on Lipke. Falls is trying to get the shot away. Daniel Yu can't keep it in at the line. Offside. Eagles have to tag up. Corbin Anderson in. Tries a toe drag. That's knocked away by Rabble. And back to center for Lipke. Lipke off the boards. Down behind the net. Elder will leave it for Rabble. Rabble tries to send it up. Everyone misses that. And that is icing against the Eagles with 3:57 left in the second. Dika loses the draw to Holmes. Anderson back to it. Brabble back to it. Up to Nayar. Holmes now. Kept in by Nayar. Nayar runs into Coombs. Into the Eagles' end, and Edwards will pick it up in the corner. Edwards over to Holmes. Daniel Yu on the boards. Lob over to Kak Marski. And that gets sent on Elder, who tips it to the corner. Bravo up the boards, picked up by Lob. Lob down for Dooley. Bravo. Back to Lob. Wickberg now tries to bank it off the boards, and that goes past Varabel. Nelms on it. Nelms goes to center. Easton Nelms scores. Easton Nelms, nifty backhand move, sends it past Elder. The Vipers lead 5-2 with 2:35 remaining in the second period. Easton Nelms walking around the defense and sinks it backhand. Nelms off the face-off. Kane at the Eagles line sends it down. Medway up the wall. Kane down to Medway. Anderson after it. Medway up the wall for Nelms. Cleared out by Lipke. Reed can't keep it in at the line. Eagles have to tag up, and Nelms would bring it out to right. Nelms blocked there by Anderson. Anderson across the line. Dooley can't get it away from him. Wickberg now back to the line. Reed keeps it in, sends it down, and Lipke will bank it off the boards into center. That goes down to Kane at the Eagles blue line. Pass goes all the way down in on Bogle. He will leave it for Lipke. And Nelms coming up the left side has Wickberg. Reed with the back check knocks that away. Brown now fighting with Medway. Gets that down. Lipke picks it up. Lipke trips into the legs of Brown. Both of them are down. And whistle sounds as we have a player on the ice. And back on his feet is Cohen Lipke. Seems to be favoring his arm. He will stay on the bench. Face off in front of the Eagles bench. Thomas Yu in. Quick shot. Bounces off the glove of Bogle. 48 seconds left in the period. Lacey. Behind the net now. Thomas Yu. Gets it in front. Deflection. Nayar can't put it in. Now it's knocked over to the side by Doev. Nickel weaves around, back to the point, Corbin Anderson. Thomas Yu. Doev. Lob. Back to the point, Anderson. Can't get it past Reed as the timer clicks down. The Vipers lead the Eagles 5-2 after the second period. And it's the third period between the Confederation Eagles and the Sexsmith Vipers. The Vipers are currently up 5-2 after the second. Puck gets sent out to center, chased down by Holmes. Holmes in. Shot goes wide of the net. Holmes back with it. Another shot. Saved by Fogle. Corbin Anderson gets it out to center. Knocked back in by Daniel Yu. Nayar fighting with Medway behind the net. Medway gets it up to Nickel. Lipke off the boards. Anderson now up the right side. Corbin Anderson tries to center for Doyev. That is knocked away by Mario Reed. Reed pokes out to Yu at center. Holmes can't get that pass. Sharp angle shot kicked out by Vogel. Dooley over to Doyev. Kane back in his own zone. Gets it out to center. Corbin Anderson for the Vipers. It's now out to Oliver Anderson for the Eagles. Nickel swipes that away from the front of the net. Falling in the corner is Nelms. He gets it to the middle. And now Anderson steal. That shot is blocked by Lacey. Reed down the left side. Knocked back up by Lacey. And now Oliver Anderson comes to the middle. Can't get that through. Reed, high shot, gloved by Fogle. Nelms around the Vipers net. Gets that up to Dooley, who dumps it in, but that's going to be icing against the Vipers with 17:30 remaining in the third period. Yu. Back to Daniel Yu. Long shot, gloved and held by Fogle. Medway goes around her own net with it. Medway spins away from Caters. Up to center. Schmidt will try to backhand it in. That gets taken by Dooley. Coombs now through the middle. Coombs checked by Daniel Yu. Yu in the corner. And Rupra will get it at center. Arnor Rupra loses the puck to Medway. Kakmarsky, rather. And it's sent back down by Lipsky. Kakmarsky can't get it by Nayar, and Nayar will send it back down, and that will be icing against the Eagles. 16:26 remaining in the third period. Nayar cuts through the middle. Lacey gets away from her. Edwards skating to it. Lacey bats it away from him. Edwards in a fight with Corbin Anderson on the boards. Anderson gets the puck out to Nickel. That bounces by Brabble at the line. Doyev in pursuit. Reed will chip it back down, and that will bounce off a stick into the Vipers bench. Face off out to Lob. Lob gets it down the ice. And that'll be icing against the Vipers. 15:50 left in the third period. Nickel along the boards. Gets it to Anderson. Picked up by Doyev. Holmes takes it for the Eagles. Tries to get the shot through. Puck in front of Fogle. Fogle jumps in and grabs that. Gonna be a penalty to the Vipers. Mason Doyev going to the box. Anderson can't get it back to the point. Turned around by the Vipers. Nelms tries to knock it out. Anderson steals. Daniel Yu, long shot that's blocked in front by Lob. Kane back to it. Kane around. Tries a high pass up to center. That's in the skates of Derek Anderson, and Nelms pokes it back. Hudson Brown up the left. Brown back to Daniel Yu. Yu. That shot goes behind the net, and Nelms will collect on the left point. Try to clear. Kane gets that at center, and then it is a hand pass out to ice, and will be blown down. Daniel Yu. That puck is deflected and offside at the line. 1:06 remaining in the penalty to Mason Doyev. Caters drags that around Wickberg. And that is sent the length of the ice by the Vipers in on Elder. Wickberg was ahead of the play, so Elder will cover for the whistle. Rupra banks it off the boards down to Holmes. Holmes goes around Lipke. Back for it is Medway. Medway fighting with Edwards in the corner. Out to Nayar. Nayar, backhand shot. That goes wide. Edwards back to it. Up to the blue line. Reed. Over to Nayar. Nayar. Back to Rupra. Rupra, long shot. That's deflected in. Pad save by Fogle. Nayar. Behind the net. And it is put in by Alexander Holmes for the goal. Holmes gets it under the pad of Fogle. Vipers are now up 5-3. Anderson against Nickel for the face-off at center. Brown. Long shot, deflected off the stick of Vogel into the corner. Nickel, behind his own net, puts it up the boards. Lacey can't get it past Anderson, and now Brown will attempt to get back up to the blue line. That goes past. Rupra to it. Carnor Rupra. Taken away by Nelms at the boards. Nelms in. Tries the shot. That gets taken away from his stick. Lacey. Long shot through. Off the crossbar in front. Anderson. Rebound. What a save by Elder coming across to deflect that up and above. Samuel Elder with an incredible save on that chance. Puck back to Lacey off the face-off. Dooley couldn't get the shot off. Rupra has that puck poked away from him. And now in pursuit of it is Lacey. Schmidt fighting for that along the boards. Gets to Dooley. Schmidt to center. Schmidt now tries to pass up, and that it goes offside. Dooley chips it back down. Amadio Reed back to it. Reed around the boards, collected by Schmidt. Schmidt cross-ice pass, no one there. Coombs chips it past. Dooley now. Dooley tries to get the shot away. Rupra gets the stick on that. Lipke in the corner up to Kakmarski. And he will lose that to Rupra at the side of the net. Rupra. Puck kept in by Dooley. Coombs now. The break. Coombs into the crest of Elder, who holds. 11:34 remaining in the third period. Nelms passes back to the blue line, taken by the Eagles and sent down the ice. Fogo will leave. And Brabble can't get it, so it's going to be icing against the Vipers. Dooley for the draw against Holmes. Lipke behind the net. Lipke. Edwards steals that. Edwards. Medway gets that away. And rebound at the front. 2 shots denied by Fogle. And that puck is deflected up and out of play for a face-off in the Vipers' end. 10:48 remaining in the third period. Dooley with the face-off against Anderson. Anderson wins it back to Brown, who loses it to Wickberg. Wickberg up the side. Shoots it in. Mario Reed to it. Lacey keeps it in. Dooley at the side. Tries to get to the front. Rebound by Wickberg. And it is saved by Elder. Wickberg tumbled to the ice. Dika, not Whitberg. Skating back under his own power. Game will remain 5-on-5. Kakmarski off the draw. Slides it across the blue paint. Coombs in the corner. Anderson gets it down the board. Lob will race to that. Anderson keeps it in at the line. Backhand for Brown. Shot deflected off the stick of Fogel. Kane. Long shot. That goes wide of the net. And back for it will be lob. Over to Coombs on the boards, kept in by Kane. That shot wide of the net. And Brown will go for it at the boards. Back out to center. Another fluttering shot by Kane. And lob. Gets it to the line but not out. And Dika finally clears down. Kane. Over to Anderson. Whistle is blown. And face-off will be brought to center ice. Daniel Yu tries to get to Caters. That's taken away at center ice by Corbin Anderson. Whistle blown at the side. Medway gets it up to Anderson. Scuffle for it in center ice. And Nickel comes up with it. Nickel tries a shot that deflects off the skate of Rabble. Doyev now offside at the line. Nelms puts it behind the net of the Eagles. Maillard up on the side. Wickberg pokes that away, but it's sent to Daniel Yu, who sends it down the ice. Lacey back for it. Lacey. Nelms now with a break. Nelms. Daniel Yu back. And Lob will send it in for a weak shot on Elder, who got it to the corner. Nayar now with it, over to Edwards. Edwards centers. Holmes can't get the finish on that. Lacey sends it around. And that's going to be icing on the Vipers with 7:45 left in the third period. Anderson wins the draw back to Brown. Long shot, score! Hudson Brown snipes it past Kel Fogel. And the Eagles are now within one. Anderson. Deflected in the corner for Corbin Anderson. He gets it out to center. Nickel racing for it with Rupra. Rupra gets the puck back. Anderson. Intercepted by Brown. Nickel. Anderson. Fighting for it in front of the net. Is hauled down by Rupra. Up the boards for Brown. Oh, off the skate of Oliver Anderson. Couldn't get stick on that. Nickel now. In the corner. Medway. Bank it up. Anderson. Corbin Anderson gets it back over the line. Amadio Reed. Anderson. Up the ice for you. Medway to Anderson. Corbin Anderson in around the defense. Runs into you. Kane down in the corner. Clears it back out of the blue line. Lacey over to Lipke. Long shot in. Deflected wide of the net. And that puck will go down for Lipke. Tries to bank it back against the boards. Edward Yu intercepts that. Lacey, puck in front. 2 Eagles there, saved by Fogle. Multiple saves by Fogle on shot and rebound. Daniel Yu back for it. Pokes it away from Nelms. Wickberg. Behind the net, centers. Kakmarski can't get a stick on that. And it's back out to the Vipers' territory. Lacey sends it up. Kakmarski can't get a stick on it. Kane rims it around the boards. Rabel tries to clear. Can't get it past Dooley on the boards. Holmes. Back to the blue line. Kept in. And now finally cleared out by Nayar. Kakmarski tries to chip it away. Varabel gets that. Nayar in on the left side. Gets taken away by Lacey. Lacey out center to Kakmarski. Long shot. That's deflected off of Varabel in front. Back for it is Reed. Fighting with Kakmarski on the left. Dika now. Up to Kakmarski to the middle for Coombs. Puck's down in the corner. Kakmarski comes up with it. Shot behind the net to the far point for Medway. Medway. Nayar intercepts that pass. Holmes kept in by Medway. Coombs pokes it past. And it will be sent back in by Dika. Reed up the left point. Stolen away by Lipke. Lipke to the center. Lipke. Shot. That goes wide of the net. Medway on the point. Anderson tries to get it through the middle for Nickel. Nickel now turns. Shoots. That's a soft shot. Deflected to the side by Elder. Lipke. Can't get the tip from Doyev in front. Reed now tries to clear. Lipke keeps it in. Nickel around Reed. Nickel still with it in the corner. Edwards can't get it out. Brabble tries the slap shot. Fans on that. Nayar looks to stick of Anderson to get to the puck, and it's finally cleared out of the Eagles' end. Brought back in by Corbin Anderson, tries a toe drag. That's knocked away by Reed. Backhand by Nickel, and rebound scored. Corbin Anderson off the rebound from Nickel, and it is 6-4 for the Vipers with 2:27 remaining in the third period. Dooley for the faceoff against Derek Anderson. Nelms grabs it off the faceoff. Nelms in on the left side. Tries the toe drag. Reed bats that back. Dooley now on it. Dooley tries to get to the front. That ends up behind the net. Dooley centers, and it is brought out by Anderson. Lacey back for Dooley. Goes behind the net. Wickberg, long shot that goes around the net. Minute 53 left in the third period. Anderson out to center. Oliver Anderson over to Brown. Reed now picks it up. Reed into the Viper zone. Reed shot that is wide of the net. Dooley can't get it out. Kane keeps it in. Lacey over to the far side. Pushes it out. Lacey over to the left. Kakmarski and Anderson along the boards. Anderson now over. That pass gets away from the Eagles. Now Brown in the corner. Knocks Nelms to the ice. Kane catches Kakmarski at center. And that'll be a body checking penalty. And it will be 17 Ethan Schmidt for the Eagles going in for body checking. 44 seconds left in the period. The Vipers with a power play, and they're currently up 6-4. Kane wrestles Dika to the ice. Lipke, long shot, stopped and held by Samuel Elder. Kane in for the draw. Gets back to the line. Lipke manages to keep it in. Doyev fighting for it on the boards. Taken away by Nickel. Nickel in the corner. 20 seconds left in the period. And Reed will get it out to center. Nayar gets that taken by Nickel. Nickel. 8 seconds left. Gets checked by Kane, who gets knocked down by Doyev. 0.5 seconds left in the game, and the Eagles will get another penalty. Doyev 2 for roughing. Trainer is tending to the player on the ice. And player's back up to his feet and being moved to the bench. And the clock will run down, and the Sexsmith Vipers will be going to the final to play the Vulcan Hawks. They defeat the Confederation Eagles 6-4, and will go on to the championship game. Confederation Eagles Heart and Hustle Awards goes to number 6, Amadio Reed. Player of the game goes to number 7, Thomas Yu. Heart and Hustle Award for the Sexsmith Viper goes to number 13, Schaefer Loeb. Vipers player of the game goes to number 2, Lincoln Dooley.